Hi guys, thanks for joining Manta as we go live. Today we're discussing all things business listings, how they can improve your SEO, why you need to update them, and everything else to do with them. Today we have Brian Lindamood. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, it's my pleasure.
He's our expert today, so you can ask him any question that you want in the comments about business listings. Let's keep it to that.
Or anything else.
Or anything else related to your business. We'll try to get to those today. If you come to the broadcast after it's ended and you still want to answer questions, we'll be answering those in the comments section. So continue to send in your questions. And if you have a subscription with Manta, if you're a Manta member and have a subscription, you can go ahead and also ask your marketing pro any of the specific questions you have to your business today. So let's get started then.
Yeah.
All right. So first question, let's get pretty high level about this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Why should small business owners care about their business listings?
Why should you care about business listings?
Yes.
That's a great question. Another way to phrase that question is, do you want customers to find your business? Do you want your phone to ring? Do you want customers to walk through your door or find your business website?
Yes,
those
the
are
answer
all,
to that's yes.
Those are all, oh yes, okay.
Yes.
Well, we'll answer the question that way. To put it bluntly, business listings are the way that customers find your business now. And the analogy that I like to make is with the phone book. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you would want your business listed in the phone book. You wouldn't dream of not listing your business in the phone book
right.
a few years ago. It's probably not as important now, but what is important is to make sure that when a customer uses their smartphone to try and find a business, that your business comes up. Or if a customer's at home using their laptop, using their computer to find a local business, you want your business to come up. That's the equivalent today of the phone book. Not too long ago, a lot of our small business owners probably spent a lot of their marketing budget on Yellow Pages ads. Because it works, because it worked then. 10 years ago, that's how customers found small businesses, local businesses. They turned to the Yellow Pages. That's not the case anymore. Now customers pick up their smartphones and open Google or Google Maps and find a nearby business, find a local business. And if your business is not listed there, much like not being in the phone book a few years ago, you're just not going to get found by customers.
Right, absolutely. So we build this session as how business listings can really support your SEO. Do you want to get into that?
Yeah, so search engine optimization, basically that's the ability for search engines like Google to find your business. And then, of course, you want to be found at all to begin with, but then the optimization part, it basically speaks to how highly you want to rank on a Google search results page. Most customers, anybody who's doing a Google search, is more likely to click on the top search result on that page, certainly the top 2 or 3 search results on that page. If you're at the bottom of that list, if your business appears on page 2 or page 3 of Google, it's much less likely that customers are going to find your listing and click on you. Basically the idea of search engine optimization is you want to do everything you can to get your business listing on that first page of Google results and as close to the top of that page as possible. When we talk about business listings, there's kind of another element to that, and that's what's known as the Google Local 3-pack. So on a Google search results page, there are 3 local businesses that are sort of highlighted at the top of that page. And that's determined in a lot of ways. Like everything with Google, there's a short answer and a very, very, very long answer to this question. But basically, to get into the Google Local 3-pack, you need to be a local business. You need to be nearby where that customer is conducting the search. It's one of the things that's unique about searches that are conducted on smartphones is, depending on that actual physical location of that smartphone, the search results are going to be different. And then you want to do the things that you can to sort of optimize that listing, to create some authority so that Google knows that you are a respected local business.
Great. So now I'm convinced as a business owner that I need to be on listings. When do I update these?
I would start by updating them immediately.
Yeah. Okay.
You really, we talk about claiming your business listings and then, correcting them, making sure that all the information there is correct, and then updating them over time. So really the place to start is with Google My Business. Google is by far the biggest and most important search engine. The Google My Business profile is important because this allows you to control the way your business is listed on Google Search, including the Google Local 3-pack that I mentioned, but also Google Maps. And this is, especially if you're a retail business with a storefront, but really for any business, including service businesses, you want to show up not just in Google Search, but also Google Maps and other places that people will be using their smartphones to search for local businesses. So Google My Business sort of covers the biggest and most important bases there for Google Search and Google Maps, excuse me. When you update your Google My Business listing, you want to make sure that your business name is correct, make sure your address is correct, your phone number, your web address. You can also add photos of your business, which again is a great way to improve the quality of your business listing. Google loves to see photos of businesses, and then when a customer is searching for your business, these photos show up on the Google search results page in the Google Local 3-pack, even Google Maps now. You can see photos of businesses as you're searching. It's just sort of a great added way to make your business more prominent to local customers as they're searching. Another important thing with the Google My Business listing is to include your business hours. And as you were asking about updating your listing, make sure you keep these things up to date. Of course, your basic name, address, phone information, you also want to make sure it's always up to date. It's probably not going to change that often. Certainly if you get a new phone number, make sure you change that everywhere you can. But something like your hours could change, and it's really important to make sure that you keep that up to date. If you have different holiday hours, you're gonna be open later in October, November, leading up to holiday shopping season, or maybe the opposite. You're going to be closed on Christmas Eve. You're going to be closed on New Year's Eve. If you take some time off in the summer, you have different weekend hours in the summer. Your business hours are going to change like that throughout the year. Every time that happens, make sure you go into Google My Business and change it there. A couple reasons for this. One, Google likes to see consistency. Kind of going back to this idea of SEO. When Google sees that you're a kind of a trusted business and a known business, and that your listing is authoritative, in other words, it's accurate. One way that Google judges that is based on consistency. Google wants to see that your business has the same name, the same address, the same phone number everywhere that it's listed. Hours also speaks to that. If your business hours are listed differently on Google, on Bing, on Yahoo, on YP.com, on Manta, the 70 plus local directories that we pay attention to. If your business hours are different on all those places, if they're not up to date, if you forgot to post in one of those places that you're going to be closed on Christmas Eve, this basically creates a question for Google. Is this listing authoritative? I see that your hours are different everywhere they're listed. Which one is right? And Google, from what we know about Google, does not like to see questions like that, right? I mean, Google wants to know that something is trusted because it sees that it's the same everywhere. That, the other potential drawback, and so that's kind of the SEO drawback to not keeping updated hours, business hours, or updated listings. The other drawback, of course, is with your customers. If your business hours aren't correct and a customer thinks that you're open and shows up at your door and you're actually closed, they didn't know you were going to be closed on the holiday, that's going to create a bad impression with that customer, and of course potentially a lost sale. Or if you are open because you have extended hours, because you're open an hour later at night than you used to be, but you forgot to tell Google that, again, you're going to lose sales. A customer at 6:30 is trying to find a local business and thinks that you're closed at 6, but really you're open until 7, you're going to lose those connections and those sales from customers. Especially when you're using your smartphone, if you Google a business now, look for a business listing, Google doesn't just display the hours, it actually says this business is closed. So, again, imagine a situation where your business is actually open, but you haven't updated your listings in Google My Business, so Google thinks that you're closed, doesn't know that you're open, and now it's telling customers on smartphones that your business is closed.
And that includes even when you're trying to get directions to the place.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so if you search for it on Google Maps, Google's, sorry, this business is closed. Because the hours in your business listings weren't updated.
Yep. Okay, so you mentioned a lot of different directories that some business owners could be listed on. Do they need to be listed on all of these? How do they get listed on all of these?
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
As I mentioned, we pay attention to at least 70 local business directories here at Manta. And we help our small business owners, our subscribers, get listed correctly on all 70 of those. And there's the big ones I'm sure you've heard of: Google, Yahoo, Bing, of course, Manta, Yelp, Facebook, big social networks, MapQuest, SuperPagesYP.com. I'm not going to remember all 70. That's about as many as I can remember. And if you don't do anything else, you can at least pick those 5 or 6 big ones and do those yourselves, and that's certainly doable. Every business owner, if they don't do anything else with digital marketing, should claim their Google My Business listing and their Manta listing, and at least start, and probably a couple of those others that I mentioned. Certainly start with Google and Manta, and that's okay. So that's the yes part of the question. Can you do it yourself? Yes. If you don't do anything else, at least do those big ones yourself, and that certainly is a DIY project. It would take maybe a half hour, 20 minutes, or a half hour for each of those directories to claim and update your listing. Although it's not just a set it and forget it thing. Again, remember, anytime you change anything about your business, especially name, address, phone, but even business hours, anything to do with your website, you have to go back to those listings. So, it's not just a one-time thing. It is an ongoing process. Now, what's even better, an even more effective approach than that is, instead of just doing the 3 or 4 or 5 that you have time to do yourself, is to make sure that you claim and update your business on all 70 of those listings. And this is really going to boost your SEO. We mentioned earlier this idea that Google likes to see consistency. It wants to know that you're a trusted, that you're an actual business, right? That you're not some sort of fake news business or something. Right. Because when Google looks at every site on the internet, on these 70 local directory sites that we mentioned, it sees, this is the same business name, same business address, same business phone number, the hours are correct, the website's correct. I see that this is authoritative, trusted business listing information on all 70 plus local directory sites. The more you can do that, if you can get that correct on all 70 sites, the more Google is going to see you as a trusted local business. So as I mentioned, that's a service that we provide for our Manta subscribers. It's just a way to make that easy and automated, so that when you do update your hours, when you do decide you're going to be closed on Christmas Eve, you can update that on your Manta listing just in one place, and then it is automatically updated across all 70 local business directories.
And we do have a scan where you can see, using your Manta information, where you're listed on all, and how you're listed on all the other ones. So that if you do choose to DIY, that might be a good place to start. It
is definitely a great place to start. It's pretty eye-opening too when run the free marketing report at manta.com, and you can see what these 70 business directories are and just how inconsistent your business listing is across all of them.
So that actually leads to the next question. A lot of directories already have some pre-populated information. Where do they get that information from?
That is a great question, and even better question, why is it wrong, right? Like, you've only ever had one phone number. Why don't these directories even have it?
Yes.
There's not a real easy answer to that. A lot of, basically there are third-party data merchants who buy and sell this information, this kind of information. So a lot of these directories, these 70 plus local directories, will buy this information from different combinations of these data merchants. Sometimes it's wrong, frequently it's outdated. You can imagine, none of these sources are particularly concerned about updating this continuously like you are as the small business owner. The data originally comes from frequently public information, filings with your Secretary of State. When you incorporate your business and file paperwork with your Secretary of State or whatever your local in your state or your city, whatever authority you're sort of establishing your business with, all of those records become public information. That's the primary place where these data merchants, sort of collect that data as it's filed. The data merchants maintain their own databases that they sell or license to the directories, who get new information pretty infrequently. You can imagine, if you incorporated your business years ago, who knows what phone number you used on that paperwork, right? It could have been your personal phone number at the time. Maybe it was your business phone number, but that has since changed, or you moved to a new address since you incorporated your business. This is the one of the ways that that information was sort of wrong to begin with, or has changed from years ago, but gets sucked into these databases and just keeps getting kind of repeated over and over again, and sort of shared across the internet, across all these different local directories. The other thing that happens is and we hear this question a lot from small business owners. They've updated their listing. They've claimed their listing on one of these sites, changed the phone number because the data merchant had the old phone number from years ago. But then at some point it gets changed back. And so this is what we, when we're talking about locking your listing, is one of the many reasons why you need to claim your listing on as many sites as possible is you want to basically password protect it so that other people can't claim it, so that the data isn't overwritten by old data or wrong data, right? So maybe that you look and these sites do have your right phone number for whatever reason, right? But then at some point in the future, they get an update of their database from one of these data merchants who was pulling old records from the Secretary of State's office, and now they've gone back to your old phone number even though it used to be right. You really need to claim these listings, not just to correct them, but to lock them down so that these data merchants aren't overwriting the new information with incorrect old information.
So let's move back to talking about SEO. What are near me searches and how do listings help with those? Great
question. So, again, with the smartphone, which is where most searches now are taking place on people's phones. Your phone knows where it is in space, and it's gonna, if you're looking for a restaurant, a business, a store, your phone is going to recommend to you businesses that are near your actual location. When you're using Google, this is actually done automatically. There's no such thing as like one Google search anymore, where the search results would be the same no matter who is doing the searching or where they are. Now every person who conducts a Google search, and depending on their current location, is going to get different results. So the kind of near me aspect is kind of baked into a Google search. It's automatically recommending businesses that are close to your location. You can also specify a near me search in other ways. So if you're specifically looking for a restaurant that's near your location, a shop or a business that's near your current location. You can conduct this as a near me search. You can put it in the search bar. Some search engines will give that option as a button where you can say, like, find businesses near me. Social media networks frequently have that as an option where you can, not just look for every pizza place in town, but look for pizza places that are near me. That it's a pretty common way to conduct a search. It's just yet another reason to make sure that your business listings are correct, because, of course, if your address isn't updated and in every business listing, every one of these sites where these searches are conducted, they're not going to know that you're a local business that's located near this customer that's trying to find nearby businesses.
Great. Okay, so we've gotten to our last question now. We're talking about mobile. So we hear mobile friendly, we've got mobile. Okay, so we've heard before that mobile is important. What does that have to do with listings?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just as we were saying about near me searches. If your customers' phones don't know where your business is, that's not going to do a lot of good in getting your customers to help find your business.
Right.
It's I've seen statistics that up to 80% of searches now are conducted on phones.
Oh yeah.
We sit at our desks in the office with a computer right in front of us, but we're using our phones, not our computers, and I think that's pretty common now. People use their phones for everything. So if your business listing isn't in these directories, not just with your correct location, but optimized to be found on mobile devices, customers just aren't going to be able to find you. They're using their phones to conduct searches. Your digital presence needs to be mobile friendly.
Yeah, and Manta does provide mobile friendly listings too. So even if you don't have a website that's mobile friendly, you can use your Manta profile to get those mobile searches. So, all right, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, that's my pleasure.
And thank you everyone who made comments or watched today, and we really appreciate it. Thanks so much.